realized I've never done a formal tour of my camping setup. And this being the last season for the Wolfeneer, I figured now's a good time. So I'll show you how I do things like that. Now keep in mind that it's always evolving. Things change almost every trip. So this is really the setup for this trip. It's not the setup I use every time I go out. But this is the setup I'm using for this trip, and this is how I do it. So this is a 2002 Mercury Mountaineer. So yes, it's good 19 years old. So it's showing its age, so that's why it's going to be its last season, as I've talked about in a previous video. So I won't go into details as to why. You can watch that video. I'll include a link in the comments, or a link in the description. And yeah, so it's 19 years old, and I've been using it for these solo adventures for a few years now. I had originally bought it because I just needed a good SUV for taking trips in and things like that with the family. And then I got into the interest of making a micro camper. So I would have loved to have bought a van back at that point in time, but didn't have the money, didn't have the parking space, and I already owned this truck. So I figured out how to do a conversion inside this truck. So I'll show you how all that's done, and what I did, how I have it laid out, that sort of stuff. So let's take a look. So I guess we're going to start off with the main entrance to the setup. This is how I get in and out of the main camping area, right here. Now I kind of screwed up here. I got the table here, you can't see it in the shot there, but there's a table right here, so I have to switch in to get in and out of the camper setup here. But this is how I get in and out, right here. This is the main entrance to basically my little apartment on wheels here. Now keep in mind, camping in a small space like this is messy. There's really just, there's no avoiding it. You got too much stuff in too small a space, things just go everywhere, so forgive the mess. It's the best I can do here with this setup. So this is the way inside. Let's start off here. I've got a kind of a simulated hardwood floor down here, which could use a good sweeping. Not a very big space. I got a spare set of shoes, a little bit warmer, which I'll be putting on shortly because the temperature has been dropping. So this is a newer addition to the setup here. This is the first time I'm trying this out. We've had this cabinet sitting in our shed for a while. It was used for family camping trips and the like. So I decided to try it on here. So it organizes my cookware and other things a little bit better. So in the top drawer, I got some my eating utensils, plates, bowls, things like that. I used to keep all the stuff in one big bin together, which just got it into a jumbled mess. This is an okay setup. I can get the stuff out it a little bit easier, but it does take some getting used to get things in and out properly. The next drawer sticks a little bit. I got my cast iron frying pan, pot, and water bottle, or water teapot, I guess we can call it. For grilling tools, things like that. Those had to go diagonal because they're too long for this cabinet. And as you can see, sometimes this thing sticks too, and I don't know why. Down here in the bottom drawer, we've got food. All kinds of food, which is another one of those small bins I carried around. So, there's a whole selection of food in here. Of course, peanut butter and fluff, which is what I had for lunch today. Pizza crust, which I'm probably not going to get to this trip. Vegetables. Emergency supply of ibuprofen. Potatoes, cereals, things like that. Just generally things that just don't need refrigeration. Just stored in here. And up on top, we just got kind of just general storage for snacks, ham radio equipment, my headlamp, things like that. Of course, hand sanitizer, something we all need right now. And that's the bed. A little dirty, but that's my bed. So I got my pillows up here, and the blankets, and several layers of blankets in there. So let's go inside and I'll show you a little bit more. So inside here, you can see I can almost sit up in the bed. Not quite, I still keep hitting my head on the ceiling, but almost sit up. I actually have an extra pad on the mattress, which kind of makes it a bit thicker than it was originally intended, so it could be a little bit lower than it is. Now this is where the back seat in the truck would have been, right here. Now I take that out. It's just a matter of unbolting it. Again, in earlier videos have shown how I do that. So I take that out. I've got a board that I put in here, and then I put the mattress on top. I had already taken the third row seat out of the back of the truck and put it in a flat platform, because in the original design, when the seats folded down, the whole thing ramped upwards, which didn't work too well for camping. So I wanted it a bit more level, so I leveled it off and So now I got a nice flat surface here and a little bit more open space. I can work in here, and it's pretty comfortable. If I sit towards the back more, I can actually sit up straight without a problem. So oftentimes in the evenings, if I'm just sitting in here, I'll sit back there instead. Sorry about the poor lighting. There's a whole lot I can do inside this space here. And this is my light source I've got for this setup. I can actually change the brightness on it too. Right now it's up at full brightness. So I sit back here. It's pretty comfortable back here. And I've got my iPod here. It's locked right now. I got music here. I got the console for the weather station here. So I can see that it's 44 degrees out. Light wind, a couple miles per hour. Reached 49 degrees today though. It's going to be warmer today than it's going to be tomorrow. I got my hotspot. It's on Cricket Wireless. I get 20 gigabytes a month for $35. So over here, back here, there's an extra battery, 100 amp hour deep cycle AGM battery. And it's really designed to go into a car though, so it's not the best application as a starting battery. So probably not the battery I should have used, but it's what I have. And that's fed by the solar panel and the solar charger. There's the solar charger, charge controller here. That's the charge controller for it. And as you can see, we're running low on power right now. As that arrow light is on, it's at 12 volts, so not getting enough light because it's kind of drizzly out here. And for those cool nights, I've got my portable buddy here, which I'll crack the door open over there a bit before I run it, of course. And that puts quite a bit of heat into the car very quickly. But it works well. Of course, I have a little emergency fire extinguisher. I got my new portable fridge, which I'll be talking about in a future clip here a bit more. But this is working quite well, but it does draw a bit more power off the battery system than I'd like, especially with no sun hitting the solar panel. So again, I got to work on that. I don't have enough power to power this properly. I'm going to have to stop the truck shortly just to charge the battery up a bit. Now, this is the looking down from the bed at the floor down here. Now under the bed is just a kind of a storage space. What I have under here is clothing. So all my clothes stored under there, so it's easy to reach and grab it. So if I need to put something warmer on, it's right within reach. When I get up in the morning, I can just grab clean clothes before I get out of the truck. And I just go right out through that door. Alright, now this is the front door, the driver's side door. This area is used mainly for storage space when I get to where I want to be. You can see, it's a mess. What I usually do is I pull the seat forward and gives me more storage space. So that cabinet there is usually further into the space there. I'll push that back up against the seat too once I move it forward. And I can use storage space. Down here I keep my camera. I got some tools in case I need to repair anything. Glass coffee pot is stored in here for the coffee percolator. Or I should say the drip coffee maker. And keep my pie iron here. A little bit extra storage there. Multimeter, pot holder, things like that. Just random storage stuff back there. But it's messy. Like I said at the beginning of the video here, camping in this small space is messy. Okay, it's the same story on the other side of the truck too. It's all storage in here. Keep my computer bag, tripod, my guitar of course, which I still have to learn to play. I keep hoping that I'll have some time to sit down and play with it at these camping trips, but something always comes up, and again, I'm going home early because of the weather. Now, I used to have 3 of these bins. These were the bins I was carrying around on. One held all my cookware, one held all my dry good foods, and one was carrying other camping gear. But now I'm just down to 1 because I got that white cabinet back there. Now this one just holds the coffee maker in it. The drip coffee maker plus the jar of coffee and the jar of sugar. So this is basically my bin of coffee. You can see some of my ham radio equipment up in the front there. Again, I'm a ham radio operator, so I do a lot of that stuff. A few other random odds in storage. Package of trash bags that I got for these trips here. I go through one a day. I fill it up, and at the end of the day I walk it over and dump it into the dumpster. On the back here, this is another storage area. Again, it's another way of getting at the bed too. But down underneath, Just kind of use this kind of a storage area on the other side from where the clothes are gone. Now here's the power inverter. It's kind of hard to see, pretty little light in there. Let's get a little bit closer, you can see it there. Easy to switch on and off right there. You can actually reach over at nighttime and shut that off and turns the outside lights off that are out there, which we'll get over to shortly. Grill is stored here. I got an emergency tent back there because if the truck breaks down and I'm left stranded someplace, it's a good idea to have someplace I can sleep. A little extra lighter fluid, some more sorted gloves, an extra lighter, more tools, things like that, just random stuff. Both my grill and my stove go in here. Now in the back of the truck we've got a little bit more storage here. When I don't have the trailer along, I put this rack on the back. And that gives me an extra storage capacity. I've got this very almost identical rack on top of the trailer too. I can put these two bins on this. I get these two bins that go on here. And I can easily get in here, store stuff. I do have straps that strap them down with when I'm moving. But in this bin here, I'll usually keep the toilet, all the tanks of propane, butane, things like that. And in this one here, I've got my portable water heater, which is also a hot shower. I can store all my cleaning tools, my dish strainer, things like that, dish detergent, plus my lanterns, batteries, that sort of stuff I might want to pull out and set up when I get to the campsite. There's a better view of how the bins are configured in here. Now this is my other access way into it. This is when I'm in camping mode. So you need to get some food out of the cooler. Quick and easy to grab the food. So just seal that back up again, and we're good to go. I keep the door loose so I can easily open it, so I don't have to go keep pressing the button over and over again to open it up, because it just makes it easy when I need to get in and out of the food. Otherwise I have to close it a lot harder, and sometimes it doesn't open so willingly. It's an old truck. As I said, I am a ham radio operator, so this is one of the things I was playing around with. That's a 4-element 2-meter beam. Trying to get back into a home repeater. Right, for those of you who aren't hams, a repeater is a device that basically has a transmitter and a receiver in it. It receives your signal on one frequency and retransmits on another. So those are usually put up in good high places, tops of towers, mountain tops, things like that. And the one I was trying to get into back in Danvers, Massachusetts, on top of a water tower. Actually, no. It used to be on top of a water tower at one point in time. Not anymore. Now it's on top of a cell tower. But I use those to basically you can get a much wider coverage area. If you're within range of it on a handheld, then it will retransmit your signal at a much higher amount of power, and a lot more people can talk to you. So that's where they're useful. But a little bit out of range up here in New Hampshire, unfortunately. Okay, a quick tour of what's in here. A few things here. Here's my little kitchen setup. Of course, we've got the stove, and it's cold right now, so we're using the propane stove because the butane doesn't work all that well. 7-gallon water tank, because, well, there's no water here, so I had to bring extra water with me. A little sink so I can wash dishes. Camera doesn't really belong there, sorry about that. Drinking water, dish strainer, soaps, things like that. Firewood stored inside here just to keep it dry, same with the chair. And this over here is something I added to the setup for COVID. This is my bathhouse. Just have a very simple toilet setup. So, little chemical toilet, easy enough to clean out and everything. It's been working well for me. I've done a few trips on it now. It's probably good for about 2 days before it needs to be emptied. So it's not going to get me deep off the grid or anything like that. But as long as I got a dumping station nearby, I can dump it out. I'm not paying the $15 if they want to use the one here though, so I'll bring it home and dump it in the toilet. Or just that's really all I need to find is a toilet someplace to dump it in. Okay, up on the roof here, we've got the water tank and solar panel set up. And of course the weather station, which is a little tipsy. I got to work on the mounting solution for that. Now I don't drive with that on here. That attaches on here when I get to the site. So it sits inside the truck where it's safe, and then when I get here I put it up and make it functional. So you can see I got a couple more of these ham radio antennas on the back of the truck. Got a 100-watt solar panel, and these each are 20-watt panels. So I've got 140 watts altogether. This is my water tank. I've got a good video that shows how I built that and everything. Holds 9 gallons of water. The water spigot down here. The hose runs over there. We've got air valve right there. When I'm driving, I Close that up so nothing gets in or out, like that. When I get to the campsite, I open it up so air will flow in and out. So one final thing here, if you see a string of lights around here, that's how I light up my canopy. That's just regular Christmas lights, 100 count, two sets of 100 count Christmas lights. They're actually designed. These ones are actually designed for garden use. They were out in the garden department at Walmart, so they got a brown colored cord, but they're just white lights. Let me turn them on. It's regular Christmas lights. And they create enough light for me to see by when I'm here. I'll throw my headlamp on, and I can see up close on things as needed. They're hooked up to that power inverter, so at nighttime when I'm ready to go to bed, I just reach over, flip the switch off, and shuts them down. And otherwise, that's my camping setup. It works well for me. Definitely could use a bigger vehicle, though I don't have to spread out so much stuff. Would be nice on these colder days if I could prepare food inside the vehicle, things like that, which I can't do in this setup right now. With the possibility of snow coming in tonight, that could be interesting, but we'll deal with it. So if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. I'd love to hear about it. And otherwise, if you enjoy this video here, check out some of my other stuff. Give me a subscribe, give me a like, things like that. Otherwise, remember to slow down and enjoy life, and thanks for watching. Boy, did I screw that up.